Now I'm getting ready for go on the street to ask some questions to strangers. What comes to your mind when you hear the word Buddhism? I'm a little bit scared. I'm so unsure about this. I don't know how to talk to people. This is something I've never done in my life. Okay, camera, tripod, everything is ready. So let's go. I've never walked on the street with the mind of searching someone who may be able to answer my question in interviews. This is a kind of new perspective to engage in the world by doing something new. This is already expanding some kind of part of my mind. Sir, I'm shooting a video for my YouTube channel about philosophy of life. Do you happen to have a brief conversation time for it?
I don't.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. The answer of second person was no, but he smiled. 38 more people, and then I'll get yes, hopefully. I had a conversation with a stranger who was sitting on the middle-aged man on the bench, but he said he doesn't want to be filmed. But I asked a question saying what comes to your mind when you hear the word Buddhism? And he said, it's a religion, type of religion. And he said it's kind of an airy thing, and it's going to open to some other things. So let me talk to more people. Fourth person, whose name is April. She was a former Catholic. Her core belief is that regardless of religion or any type of spirituality, what matters the most is to become a better person. What matters the most for everyone's life that is shared universally. So this echoes with the idea of the universal Buddha nature. One of the challenges that she shared is that the guilt, former Catholicism association, is causing a lot of sense of guilt, deep-seated, she said. That's been making her difficult to have a sort of meaningful, desired relationship with her own mom. So she said she's going to therapies, it's processing well, but her trajectory, I was impressed. Her trajectory was really promising, because she said that it's a whole process rather than getting over that overnight. So that's what I heard. What's your name?
Sherlyn Mejia. Wait.
Sherlyn?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
So, Sherlyn, I have a question. When you hear the word Buddhism, what comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to my mind is religion. I don't really know much of it. I know we went over it in school, but not too much, because we're not supposed to get into religion. Yeah.
I see.
Yes, I'm taking this AP class, and we're allowed to get into religion. But
wait, what is it? What is an AP class?
It's AP Spanish literature. My teacher has to be very careful, and because there's people that pass by, and then he gets in trouble because he's not allowed to talk about religion. I find it kind of strange that we can't talk about religion, because as a person that wants to grow and wants to learn, but I also see what they mean by we can't speak on religion, because most of those school things that we talk about is, I wouldn't say false, but it's sugar-coated. Definitely.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You said that you want to grow and learn.
Yes.
So any topics for that possibility of growth and learning should not be restricted, you think?
Yes, I do think that it's very restricted in school, and even though we're not allowed to say that.
Do you have a particular philosophical, spiritual, religious path that you follow, if I may ask you?
Not personally. I know my family is religious, somewhat religious. They're not, to me, they're not really religious, because they just claim to be something but don't follow up with it. I feel like religion is much more than that. It's
I see it.
I don't personally follow into anything, but I do believe in a little bit of astrology. I don't know too much, so I can't speak.
Nice.
So I can't speak too much on it. But I do want to grow into that area, but I don't know how. So being guided would be nice. That's what I meant.
What do you think about the Buddhism? Is that possibly one of your options?
Well,
as a philosophy or something?
I don't have options. I just kind of want to learn and be guided towards whatever I feel like I believe is what I'm gonna follow.
I see. So rather than fixing into one thing, being open,
being set into something. I'm sorry. Instead of being set into something, I want to learn about different religions and see what I feel most comfortable with. That's why I don't really follow with my family's religion.
I see.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. Do you go to school now?
I do. This is my last year. I'm a senior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She has an amazing philosophy. When it comes to religion or something, or philosophy or something like that, I tend to think that someone has sort of one almost fixed tradition that you are associated with, like myself. But that was my prejudice. Charlene was like, no, I'm searching, and I'm open to any search, whatever that clicks me, and that will be my belief. So this openness, the process of meeting with the different, exploring, expressing a lot of different paths, that process must be respected. If Buddhism can support that process of everyone else, that'd be great. That's one way that Buddhism can make a contribution to this world, right? I had a brief chat with 2 high school students over there. So one of them was wearing a t-shirt with the band's name, Slipknot. I thought that was an entrance for a better conversation. But he said he even didn't know what that Slipknot band's name is. I asked him like, oh, is these bands still active? And he was like, I don't know, I just read this. That was my prejudice, right? I sort of assumed that if you are wearing a t-shirt with a particular name of the band, rock band, I assumed that these guys like it. But that was not the case. So he was my bodhisattva who helped me sort of break my prejudice, right? So this automatic association oftentimes doesn't go well. And he was gently, without telling me, taught me that lesson. I don't know why, but I asked the question, do you guys like Demon Slayers, the anime? And the other guy, who was not wearing the Slipknot t-shirt, was a huge fan of Demon Slayers, so I had a good conversation about it. Somehow when I left, he said, have a good day. What is that? Why was he willing to say that word for me? That was so interesting, Maybe the human nature that Charlene was talking about, that we all share as the core of a humanity, is bubbling up all the time. That's great. I got to talk to 7 occasions. Out of 7, 4 people actually had a conversation with me, and one of them, Shirley, okayed with being filmed. So thank you all for your engagement. So was there anything that stood out for you? One of the surprising facts is that everyone who answered said, what comes to mind when they hear the word Buddhism is religion. This was an interesting statistics for me, because before I came to the US, I thought of Buddhism as a member of Richiko Sekai as religion pretty much. But coming to the US, meeting with a bunch of different people who claim themselves to be Buddhists, who had a former religious background in Catholicism or other forms of Christianity, they tend to think that tend to take Buddhism as either spirituality or philosophy rather than religion. In a broader perspective, I've been talking to a bunch of Buddhists about Buddhism, but today, unlike my ordinary sort of range of communication, I talk to non-Buddhists about Buddhism. And there I found that all of them answered it as a religion. Isn't that interesting? People who are not Buddhists said Buddhism is a religion. And people who are Buddhists say Buddhism is not a religion. Those who are Buddhists, many of them also take Buddhism as a religion as well. But they're saying, Shirley and April, whatever that helps me do good, grow, and learn is what counts as good, and they're open to that possibility. And if And I thought, if that's the case, I mean, that's a very open-minded, expansive attitude, which I love about. Maybe that's even more Buddhist than I was thinking about. Or maybe the question of, are you a Buddhist or not? It's perhaps misleading for some people, because some people may think that becoming a Buddhist does not exclude being associated with other forms of religion, spirituality, and philosophy. So this kind of interactive possibility of many different diversity of traditions was eye-opening to me. Perhaps Buddhism has a room of its own for the contribution of sort of helping that kind of exploration of so many people. I'm so glad that I had a conversation with a friend who calls me his mentor, who turned out to be today that he was actually a mentor for me as well, who advised that, well, you've been doing great in this YouTube channel, Lotus Sutra lectures, wonderful, excellent discussion and stuff, but he said, I would be also interested in like a street Buddhism. If you go out to the street, on the street, and meet a bunch of strangers, like ordinary people, and talk to them about Buddhism and have a real conversation with them. Amazing idea, but you know, talking to strangers, I tend to be a socially introvert. I have a low social energy, social tolerance, so I don't know if I can do it. But I thought it was a great idea, and that's what would draw people's attention. That means people are looking for like a real voice of real people. I probably will continue this kind of interview and more interaction conversation with others for the future videos, and let me know how it goes for you. And if you have a better English phrase, let me know as well in comments. So, I mean, better English phrase I asked to these strangers, saying like, hey, no, I just say, hello, or excuse me, or hi, I'm looking for, I'm shooting the video for my YouTube channel about philosophy of religion. The philosophy of, that's my view, philosophy of life. Would you be interested in having an interview for like 3 minutes or something like that? Is there any better way of saying that? Thanks for checking out. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in comments by all means.